Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Rotten to the Lore. I'm Agrababy, or Cece.
I'm Alex the Queer, or Alex.
And today we're going to talk about the first chapter. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the lore behind the first chapter. In a realm far beyond our own, across the boundaries of time, space, and imagination, lies Lorcana. A world where stories come alive, shaped by ink, glimmers, and lore. At the heart of this realm is the Great Illuminary, a radiant repository for every story ever told. Without it, tales would vanish into the void, forgotten forever. The Illuminary was crafted by a mysterious figure known only as the Curator. The Curator made it his life's mission to collect and protect the world's greatest legends. To that end, he made sure that the Illuminary included all the necessary bits and bobs for collecting story stars, as well as a reservoir to hold the ink. Using all of these parts, the Curator was able to harness the glowing power of the story stars, blending it with the magical inks to summon beings called glimmers, echoes of beloved characters, reborn in ink and light. These glimmers shared their stories, and the Curator carefully recorded each and every one. From these shared memories, fragments of great tales called lore were preserved. And the ink used to bring these glimmers to life became the very lifeblood of Lorcana's power. But there were just too many stories. The Curator couldn't do it all alone. He needed help, and soon was seeking out others to train, brilliant and imaginative minds, who he named Illumineers. Together they worked hard to safeguard these stories, tirelessly, until one day they vanished without a trace. The Illuminary fell silent, forgotten, until now. A new power has awakened deep within the walls of the Illuminary, and it is sending out a call across the dimensions, calling to those with boundless creativity and hearts full of wonder. The Illuminary is calling to you. You are one of the new Illumineers, and alongside fellow Illumineers like Shanzay, Martin, and Venturo, you've been chosen to continue the Curator's work, protecting stories, summoning glimmers, and gathering lore. To aid you, the Illuminary has gifted you an Inkcaster, a magical device allowing you to wield 6 mystical inks: amber, amethyst, emerald, ruby, sapphire, and steel. And each ink holds a different kind of power, from protecting and healing amber glimmers to mystical and magical amethyst glimmers. You'll find quick-witted and navigating and adaptive glimmers in emerald, and fearless and bold, daring ruby glimmers. Artists and inventors can be found among the sapphire glimmers, and steel glimmers are strong and unstoppable. With these inks and your imagination, you hold the power to continue the mission. Summon heroes, quest for lore. The Curator believed that lore must be protected, no matter the cost. And now, that responsibility falls to you. Welcome, Illumineer. Your story begins here, in the first chapter of Disney Lorcana.
In each set of Disney Lorcana, they bring us something new that adds a little bit of spice to the game. This is a segment that we like to call, What Did This Set Bring? And Chapter 1 brought a lot. Today we're going to be looking at keywords and abilities. Chapter 1 brought us a total of 9 different keywords and abilities. These are super powerful, and the first one we're going to start off with is one of the most powerful keywords in the game. It is singer. For this, we're going to look at Ariel, the spectacular singer. She's a 3-cost inkable, 2 strength, 3 willpower character that has the ability Singer 5. The Singer ability shows up in a couple different ways, but generally it'll be Singer and a number larger than the cost of that card. Because without Singer, characters can sing for however much they cost. So if Ariel didn't have the Singer ability, she would be able to exert to sing instead of Challenger Quest and be able to play that song if it was cost 3 or less. But because she has the Singer 5 ability, she can sing songs that cost 5 or less. What makes this so powerful is that you can have a character that is cheaper, such as a 3-cost character, singing songs that would generally need to be sung by bigger characters, such as 5-cost characters. Ariel sings songs such as Grab Your Sword and A Whole New World, and that can really shake up the space. That's why Singer is one of the most impactful abilities still. The second keyword ability that we will go over is Bodyguard. And for this, we will look at 2 of our favorite Musketeers, Donald Duck and Goofy. Both of these cards have Bodyguard. Bodyguard reads, this character may interplay exerted. An opposing character who challenges one of your characters must choose one with Bodyguard if able. Which means if you had another character on the board that, say, didn't have Bodyguard, they would have to run into the Bodyguard before they could challenge this other character, which honestly gives your characters more utility. The ability is a may ability for whether or not it enters in exerted, so you can even play it as a normal character if you wanted to. Bodyguard is really powerful because it can protect your questing board, or even characters like Ariel, who just sang a song and have exerted to do so, which leaves them vulnerable to attack. Bodyguard is a very powerful utility ability and allows for people to play in different ways. Now that we've gone over Bodyguard, let's talk about support. And to do so, we must talk about Merlin. Merlin is a card that has support. Merlin is a 4-cost inkable, 3 strength, 4 willpower character that reads, support, whenever this character quests, you may add their strength to a chosen character's strength this turn. Let's bring back Ariel for this example. So, if Merlin is to quest for that 1 lore and exerts to do so, then you may support Ariel, giving this first number, your strength, to Ariel. Ariel, who was a 2-3, now becomes a 5-3 for the remainder of the turn. This can be insanely powerful to take out bigger characters and also to help take out other types of cards in the game. Support is a really cool mechanism that a lot of people have just started playing around. Now that we've talked about support, let's talk about evasive characters. We will look at Peter Pan for this. Evasive characters are really simple and cool, but also can be super pesky. The evasive ability says only characters with evasive can challenge this character. That means other characters like the ones we've gone over, like Merlin and Ariel, who don't have evasive, cannot challenge Peter Pan. Which means Peter Pan is free to quest and sing if there's not another evasive on the board, because it can't be challenged. Which is a really cool ability. There are entire decks based on just this ability alone, much like Steel Song is based on singing songs. This means that if you don't have an evasive or a different way to deal with these characters, they freely quest unchecked. Evasive is also one of the most powerful keywords, even going into set 9. Now that we've talked about the evasive keyword, let's talk about rush. We need to do so with Maui. Maui, hero to all, rushes in. Exactly as it sounds, it is a ability that happens pretty quickly. Rush reads, this character can challenge the turn they're played. So, in normal turns, as we've previously talked about, your characters have to dry when they come onto the field. So, the Peter Pan, for instance, if we were to play the Peter Pan, it can't come in and immediately quest or immediately challenge. Where this is different for Maui, because of the rush ability, is that this character can come in and immediately challenge. You can't quest, but you can take out other characters by surprise. That is a really cool tactical advantage for these type of characters. Maui is still played because of its stat line and this rush ability. Now that we've talked about rush, let's move on to Challenger. Captain Hook, Forceful Duelist, has Challenger +2. Challenger can come in many different forms. Often it is seen to be +2, but there are often Challenger +1s and even Challenger +3s. All that this means is that while you're challenging with this character, so you are initiating the challenge, this character gets +2 strength. So if I am to challenge into another character, say Ariel, who is a 2/3, this Captain Hook is able to take out that Ariel because it is now a 3 strength while challenging. If it is to be challenged by the Ariel, however, because Challenger only happens on your turn when you initiate the challenge, it would only swing back for 1. But Challenger allows you to take out bigger characters on your turn and focus on the challenging concept of the game. Now that we've talked about Challenger, let's discuss Ward. Ward is a keyword that is extremely powerful. Ward means that opponents cannot choose this character except a challenge. This matters because things like damage spells have to choose opposing characters. Because of this, that means that your opponent can't choose Aladdin to do damage to it unless it's challenging. Or if they force you to choose. It is important to make a distinction here that Ward only means that opponents can't choose this character, but you may still choose that character for whatever action you need. This can be super versatile, but the reason it is so powerful is this guy can stand there forever if never targeted. Now that we've discussed Ward, let's talk about Reckless. We're going to bring Maui back to help aid in this discussion, because Maui has a second keyword ability underneath Rush called Reckless, and so does Gaston. Reckless means that this character cannot quest and must challenge each turn if able. So, you'll see this oftentimes with cards that don't have a lore pip here to the side, such as these other cards, like this, which means it's probably not questing. However, it's also an ability that other cards can give other characters so that they're unable to quest. Why this is so powerful is because while you aren't able to quest with it, you are generally a bigger strength character that is taking out smaller strength characters. And you are still able to sing with these cards. Reckless allows for bigger characters to then run in and challenge other characters without also having the advantage of being big and questing. Now that we've discussed Reckless, let's talk about one of the most powerful and well-used mechanics in the game. Shift. Later, we will talk about some of y'all's favorite cards that you commented as a part of your homework, and some of them include shift mechanics. Shift is notated at the top of the abilities box. Both of these cards have the ability Shift. On Stitch, it is Shift 4, and on Elsa, it is Shift 6. Shift is a way to play these characters for cheaper. So if you'll notice, up at the top, Stitch is a 6-cost inkable character, which means that you're probably playing it on 6. However, if you play a smaller Stitch prior to playing this Stitch, you are actually able to shift it on top of that Stitch card, which means that you can play it on turn 4 because it is Shift 4. Much like the Singer ability that we went over with Ariel, you are able to get an advantage by playing something sooner than you would have been able to otherwise. So, say you have a smaller 1-drop Stitch that costs 1. On turn 4, you're able to shift that Stitch out on top of the other card. And it looks something like this, because it now becomes this other character. It is important to know that all conditions of that card that were already present will remain on that character. So for instance, if you have already previously challenged or you have damage on the card, say 2 damage, you still will have the 2 damage on the shifted character. But where it is cool, because you have already had the other character that was shifted onto what we call in the game a shift target on the board, you do not have to wait for this character to dry because it is already present, which means that you can shift on turn 4, and then if it was Stitch, you get to quest for 3, or sing a song, or challenge. There's a lot of utility in Shift. Shift is something that people build their decks around, and they can be extremely powerful. Just take a look at this Elsa, Spirit of Winter. It has the ability of Shift 6, which means that you can get this 4 strength, 6 willpower character that has 3 lore out on turn 6. And its ability is extremely powerful. Deep Freeze. When you play this character, exert up to 2 chosen characters, and they can't ready at the start of the next turn. This can be super damaging to someone else's gameplay, and even more so because it comes out 2 turns sooner than it would have. Shifted is an extremely balanced mechanic, and this is the first iteration of Shift. Now that we've discussed the keywords and abilities, let's do a refresher really quickly. While we talked about it in episode 1, it is very important that you know the difference between these 2 symbols, as it makes a very big difference on what type of decks you play and what kind of abilities that you can consider, because while there are some abilities, like Shift and Singer, that are extremely powerful, it is also important to know that you don't want too many uninkable cards. Now that we've talked about abilities and keywords, let's jump into what some of the starter decks look like.
Okay, I am super stoked to be sharing the starter decks with you today from the first chapter. This was the only set where we got 3 starter decks, and that's probably because of the launch. They wanted us to have access to all of the ink colors, so we got a starter deck that is Emerald Ruby, an Amber Amethyst, and a Sapphire Steel starter deck. So each of these decks is meant to do something else. They introduce us to the different types of ink and what those inks are really good at, and let's look at them one at a time. So our first one here is going to be the Aurora Simba Sapphire Steel deck, and it is called a Steadfast Strategy. In this starter deck, strategic sapphire glimmers keep you one step ahead of your opponent, while steadfast steel glimmers stand strong in the face of challenges. Together, this team may have the smarts and strength you need to win the day. So that's what you can expect playing Sapphire and Steel. Your Steel is going to have some really strong people who can withstand a challenge, and Sapphire is going to get all those little trinkets working together to make sure that you're able to win the day. Our second set from our starter deck from the first set is the Moana Mickey Mouse Amber Amethyst starter deck, and it's called the Heart of Magic. In this starter deck, loyal amber glimmers unite to protect and support each other, while magical amethyst glimmers harness their powers to achieve your goals. Together, this hearty alliance may help you uncover the secrets of Lorcana. So now we're looking at Amber and Amethyst. Amber is going to have those support characters. It's going to be about healing you, keeping you safe. And Amethyst is about deep magic that's going to come and help you win the day and discover the secrets. All right. And then lastly, we have the Emerald Ruby starter deck, which features Cruella and Aladdin. This deck is called Daring and Deception. In this starter deck, clever emerald glimmers use quick wits and surprise, while daring ruby glimmers dash with speed and bravery towards your objectives. Together, this plucky band should keep your opponents guessing and see you to victory. So here we have our emerald and ruby ink colors. Emerald with a lot of sort of quick surprise things that might be happening, and ruby that's coming in fast and hard. So together, they will help you win your game. So one of these is a great place to get started in the first chapter, and later on in today's episode, Alex and I will be each picking one and playing a game for you to see.
Welcome to a segment that we like to call Going Over Your Homework. Today, we're going to go over some of the comments that we got based on the homework that we gave you last time on RottenToLoreLore. As a refresher, your homework was to post a comment of your favorite Disney Lorcana card, and if you didn't have one, your favorite Disney character. We got some cool responses that we want to highlight. So let's see. It looks like, our first commenter is Camille Gombos, 1427. They write, my favorite card is Grandma Tala, Spirit of the Ocean, because building decks around putting your entire deck into your inkwell is so much fun. The most that I've ever had is 27 ink. That's crazy. Think about, you have a 60 card deck and 27 cards of that are in your inkwell. That is wild. And also wildly cool. Grandma Tala is a 7-cost inkable card that is a character type. It is a 4 strength, 8 willpower character. So it takes a lot to take it out. With a shift 5 ability. And the ability, Do You Know Who You Are? Which reads, whenever a card is put into your inkwell, gain 1 lore. Which means in this case, Camille having 27 ink after turn 7 could mean over 10 lore just for inking. That is insane. This makes me want to craft a deck that focuses on ramping to put more cards into my inkwell. And that's exactly kind of the playstyle that she brings. She also quests for 2. Right here I have an enchanted version of her. She is one of the most beautiful cards in Disney Lorcana. Not just because she's an enchanted, but also because the art is just that good. The second commenter commented 2 cards. Let's see what they have to say. Their first card. Jordan B3569 writes that they have two favorite cards. I understand not being able to choose between them because both of these are really good. The first is Aerial Sonic Warrior because her art is awesome and her ability is super cool. This is Ariel. She's a great asset to Steel Song decks because they sing. Ariel is a 6-cost inkable character card that it has 3 strength and 8 willpower, so again, hard to take out, with the Shift 4 ability and the ability called Amplified Voice, which reads, whenever you play a song, you may pay 2 ink and deal 3 damage to a chosen character. She also quests for 2. Think about if you have 3 characters on the board, including Ariel, and 2 of them sing songs. That's 2 times that you can activate Ariel's ability by paying 2 ink each time to deal 3 damage to another character, effectively doing direct damage to wipe out your opponent's board. She is really cool and has an amazing, impactful effect. In fact, most people don't like to play against her, but as a Steel Song player, I enjoy playing her. She also has an enchanted. So you tell me, do you prefer the art of the original or the art of the enchanted? Personally, I prefer the enchanted, but I am a little partial. The second card that Jordan highlights is one of the cooler new dual ink cards, which means that it has 2 colors instead of 1. Let's see here. Baymax Giant Robot. Jordan B3569 writes that Baymax Giant Robot is the other card because it is their favorite Disney character and because he can shift to be played on top of any character because he has this ability called Universal Shift. How cool is it to say Stitch is the person or is the character that you shift on top of and is piloting a giant Baymax robot suit? Chaos. Jordan, I have to 100% agree with you here. And I think that we need to connect because I would love to make a Baymax giant robot and Stitch combination deck. That sounds perfect and just the type of chaos that Stitch and I need. Isn't that right, buddy? Stitch agrees. Baymax Giant Robot is a 6-cost uninkable character that has 5 strength and 5 willpower, so also pretty hard to get rid of and packs a pretty big punch when it challenges. It has the ability called Universal Shift 4. If you recall, the other 2 cards we've gone over both had Shift. Shift is a mechanic that came out in a later set, so we'll talk more in depth about that at another time. However, what it essentially is that you can play the character that has Shift on top of the character that is generally smaller, but often is just a character with the same name. So you play a Grammatala on another Grammatala, and you pay it for a reduced cost. So if you recall, Grammatala is a 7-cost inkable character with the ability of Shift 5. Shift allows it to come out on turn 5 versus having to wait until turn 7. Similarly, Baymax has Universal Shift, which means that Baymax can shift on any character, not just other Baymaxes, which is why Jordan is talking about Baymax shifting on top of Stitch. Now, Stitch is piloting a Baymax outfit. I think that might be the next purchase that we have to make. Thank you to these 2 commenters for doing their homework, and you should do your homework too. So next time, you can be in the fancy book of homework comments. Next time when we're on Rotten to the Lore, we hope that you will comment just this. Your homework is, what is the biggest thing that holds you back from engaging or getting into Lorcana? For people, sometimes it's the community around them. Sometimes it's a store that isn't hosting events. For other people, it's the mechanics or learning the game. We want to know so that we can help you out. Let us know what your questions are. Maybe Stitch can help. Now that we have discussed our homework, and you know what assigned homework you have going forward, let's jump into some gameplay before we leave you for the day.
Okay, so I am going to be testing out today the Amber Amethyst starter deck, and that was featuring Moana and Mickey Mouse.
And I'm going to be testing out the Emerald Ruby starter deck that is featuring Cruella de Vil and Aladdin.
Yeah. All right. Virtual cut. You want a small cut, a big cut, cut?
I'll take a 3 cut.
A 3 cut. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful. And what kind of cut would you like?
Take a big cut.
A big cut. All right. Perfect.
So I've come to terms with the glare of my office. And so I'm going to be putting my things a little differently than I usually do. I'm going to put them over here because this side of my mat seems to catch glare a little bit worse than the others. And the top does. So I'm actually going to put my ink on top today as well. And we'll see what happens.
Do you want to do high roll or low roll?
Let's go for high roll.
All right.
I rolled a 3.
I rolled a 5.
Well, would you like to go first?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. What a hand.
I feel similarly. I think I'm going to go back 4. 1, 2. I can see a little bit of your hand, by the way.
Oh, so good
3,
to know.
4.
I am going to go back 3.
Okay. So this is going to be my hand. And I'm going to shuffle again. So I use this little skull here on a chain to mark my hand anytime I put it down because I have ADHD and sometimes I get confused about which pile of upside down cards is my hand and which one is the ink. So that helps me out when it comes to not making that mistake.
Yeah, hand tokens are pretty great. I also have a hand token. It's just not with us today. But it'll make an appearance.
How would you like me to cut the deck this time?
I'll take a little cut.
Itty bitty cut. Phenomenal cosmic power.
What kind of cut would you like?
I will take a 3 cut.
All right. Cool.
All right. Start us off.
If I must. I will ink for turn a Megara and play Shield of Virtue, which is an item. And then I'll pass to you.
All right, I'm going to draw for turn. I'm going to ink Control Your Temper. And I'm going to use that to play your favorite character, Stitch.
Yeah, my dog.
And pass.
I'll draw for turn. Well, that was a card I could draw. I will ink a Horus for turn, and then I will play an Aladdin. And I will pass to you.
Okay. I will, ready? I will draw. I am going to ink our girl Minnie Mouse. And I'm going to use my 2 ink to play our girl Minnie Mouse. And then I can't quite see the stats on that Aladdin. Is he a 1/2?
He is a 2/2 with ward.
He's a 2/2 with ward. I'm going to pass.
All right. I will draw. Interesting. Very interesting. I will ink a Mad Hatter for turn, which breaks my heart.
Mm.
And then I will pay 1 for Stampede, which deals 2 damage. Nope, it doesn't. Can't do that. There's no damage characters. And see, even we make mistakes. I'll quest with Aladdin to go to 1.
Okay.
And then I will exert Shield of Virtue and pay 3 to ready Aladdin, and then I'll pass.
Okay. Ready, set, draw. Let's see here. I am going to ink. I'm going to ink this magic broom. And I will pay 3 ink to play Maleficent, and I will activate her ability Cast My Spell. When you play this character, you may draw a card. So I will do that. And I will pass.
All right. I will draw. That is a card that I could draw. I will ink a Stitch, also breaking my heart.
Rough.
Because the art on this card is just so
good.
Then I will pay 4 for Scar.
Ouch.
He is a 5/3 and can quest for 1. And then I will pass.
Okay. You will ready? Draw. I'm going to have Maleficent sing Friends on the Other Side and draw 2 cards.
Good.
I'll put that in my discard.
I forgot that starter deck has Friends in it. That is good. Yep.
I will, yes. Let's see, I have 3 ink. I'm going to ink my friend Olaf here. And we're going to play for 4 Mickey. And Mickey allows me to pay 1 less for broom characters. And whenever one of my broom characters is banished, it goes back into my hand in a challenge, specifically. And then I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to quest for 2 and go to 2 and pass.
All right. I will draw for turn. What is the stat line of that Mickey?
The Mickey is a 3/4.
3/4. All right. I will ink Mickey Mouse for turn. Then I will pay 5 to Dragonfire your Mickey.
Okay. Bye, Mickey.
Yeah, bye, Mickey. And then I will have Scar take out your Maleficent.
Okay.
And I'll pass.
All right. I will ready and draw. Let's see here. I am going to see, I have 4 ink. I'm going to pay 3 ink to play Rafiki. He has rush and is going to rush into Scar and trade with him.
Yeah, Rafiki was great back in set 1.
And oh, my dudes are standing. Whoopsies. Did a bad ready there. Then I am going to, for 1, play Hey Hey. Hey Hey has support. And is there anything else I want to do right now? Do I want to ink? I think I want to ink. I'm going to ink Cinderella, and I will pass.
Okay, we're ready, and then draw. I will ink for turn and play Rapunzel. When I play this character, each opponent loses 1 lore, so you'll go to 1.
Boo.
And then I will pass.
Okay. I will draw for turn. I'm going to pay 4 for Jafar. Jafar is a 2/5 with a Challenger 3 and 1 lore. And then I'm going to quest for 3. Up to 4 and pass.
What is Hey Hey's stat line?
Hey Hey is a 1/2.
Okay. I'm going to pay 3 for Aladdin. When I play this character, each opponent loses a lore, so you'll go back to 3.
I don't like this at all. Seems rude.
It's a little funny, I must say.
Aladdin and Rapunzel are in cahoots.
Yeah, they are. Choices. All right. Rapunzel will take out Hey Hey.
Okay.
And then I will Shield of Virtue to ready Rapunzel.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will take out Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will pass.
Okie dokie. So she has 3 damage and she's a 3/4?
She's a 5/4.
She's a 5/4. Okay, I will draw for turn. Ready. I will ink Hakuna Matata. I will have Jafar sing Friends on the Other Side and draw 2 cards.
Beautiful. We love card draw.
Oops. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ink. What do I want to do here? I think I will. I'll throw Minnie into Rapunzel and trade.
Okay.
Then I will pay 5 for Flotsam, who has rush, but it doesn't matter because there's I can hit, and 1 for another Stitch, and I will pass turn.
Alrighty. I will draw for turn. Well, that's kind of just funny, I think. I will pay 6 for Rapunzel. Because it's more fun like that. And then I'll pass.
And I lose a lore again?
Oh, yes, you do. Yes. So you go to 2.
Wah, wah, wah. That's not cute.
I thought it was pretty cute. Look how cute she is with her roped hair.
Mm-hmm. I will draw for turn. I will, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am going to have Jafar saying friends on the other side. How I ended up with 3, I don't know. Happy about it. I will draw 2 cards.
Card draw is always good.
I will pay 3 for Mickey Mouse and 3 for Mickey Mouse. I did shuffle, I swear. Multiple shuffled and pile shuffled. I'm not really sure what's happening here.
Yeah.
And then I will quest for 3. Trying once again to go back up to 5 and pass.
All right, I will draw for turn. Yeah, it's funny. If I know we can't see our score pad super well, we will get better ones in the future. But Cece's doing a lot of moving around. I have 1.
Funny for you.
For me.
I sure you're not a villain.
Yeah, today I am. It seems. It seems. Flotsam is a 3/4.
3/4. Yep.
I mean, not awesome, but you get the idea.
I'm slipping in what you're spilling.
How many cards do you have in hand?
2.
All right. Radical. Okay. I think that I have one best option. And that best option is to do something. Yeah.
That would be a good call, I think.
Wouldn't it? I will hit Jetsam for 2.
Okay.
I will pay 1 for Stampede, which we previewed earlier. Do to a chosen damaged character. So Jetsam will go away.
What does it do to damage characters? Sorry?
2 damage.
2 damage. Oh, Jetsam. You were fun. Thanks for the 2 lore.
And then this part is the part that makes life difficult. I think my best option are those Mickey's 1/3s.
3 3s.
3. Oh yeah.
Our true friend here is quite a true friend.
Yeah. So truly friends. Yeah, I think I just pay 3 to put a Jasper down, whose ability is puppy napping. Super slow. Is a 2/4. The ability allows Jasper that whenever this character quests, a chosen opposing character cannot quest on their next turn.
Rude.
I know. But it's on quest. I haven't gotten to quest yet, I will use Rapunzel to take the Jafar.
Okie dokie.
And then I will pass.
Alrighty. Let's stand up our stitch here. Ready, set. draw. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 for Rafiki, who is a Rush character and will trade with Rapunzel. Did I lose you?
Oh, no, I am right here.
Did your camera freeze?
I don't think so.
Okay, I traded with Rapunzel.
Ah,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
And I will pay another 3 to play another Rafiki. Then I will quest for 5 up to 10
Ooh.
and pass.
Well, unfortunately, it does not seem like I'm going to be doing much. I will draw my card.
Cards in hand.
The one I just drew.
Uh-huh.
See, card draw wins and loses games, folks. And right now, well, the best I've got is a Corella DeVille that whenever this character is challenged and banished, I may return a chosen character to their player's hand,
Okay.
which is something I could do for sure. Best I can do right now is, I guess, I take the Stitch with Aladdin,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hit the Mickey for 2. I take 3, use Shield of Virtue to ready, and then hit that same Stitch again to trade.
Okay. Oh, the same Mickey again?
Yes, I think I said Stitch, but I meant Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best I've got for you, Cece. It is your
Great.
turn.
I love it. Ready, set, draw. I will pay 4 for Ariel. She's a 3/4. She has no voice. She's on human legs, so she cannot exert to sing songs. And she has 2 lore. And then I will pay 1 for our good old friend Olaf, who loves to sing. And it says, I'm Olaf and I like warm hugs. And I will. What are the stats on that, Cruella?
1, 3.
Oh, fun. I'm going to quest for 3.
Yeah, that seems right. Go to 13.
13 and pass.
Alrighty.
I also have no cards in hand now.
Yay. Oh, nosies. Okay, he's got a sword.
Amazing.
So chosen character gets +2 this turn. Gonna give it to my only character.
Yeah.
Which is, something I can do. Both Rafiki and the Mickey are 3/3s. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But Mickey does have 2 lore. Rafiki only has the 1.
Yeah. Well, Corella's going to take out that Mickey.
Yep.
Her ability doesn't matter because she was not challenged. So I pass my turn reluctantly.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Ready, set, draw. I will pay 2 for this Yzma character. She's a 2/2 with 1 lore and says, whenever this character quests, take a look at the top card of your deck. Put it either at the top or bottom of your deck.
Fun.
And I will quest for 4 up to 17 and pass turn.
I don't know that I want to go. Already. And does this get me out of it? It absolutely does not.
Oh.
No character.
Good game.
Good game. Good game.
Well, that was fun.
Yes, it was.
Very, very lucky draws on my end.
We
I don't
love
know how I ended up with all three of those. And the Yzma, like.
Yeah, it happens like that.
Yeah.
We did not see most of my cards that do things. So I did enjoy, however, making you lose lore. That was kind of
Yeah, I could tell how much you enjoyed that. All right.
all right.
Wow, that was some riveting gameplay. Join us in 2 weeks when we talk about Rise of the Floodborn and World's Watch Parties, everything you need to know and our excitement for it. Remember, good or evil, every glimmer has its place. And so do you. See you next time on Rotten to the Lore.